It gives me much pleasure seeing you all at this event this afternoon. This is indeed a historical event, personally for me, and Sole Limited as a company. You know, Sole, when God granted the vision for me about 15 years ago, was called Cloud Saver Social. Just somehow it was too long for some of our developers and for some of our directors, especially the one with the red shirt here in front was the one who told me that we needed a shorter name for Cloud Saver Social, and just somehow Sole came up the night before and it stuck even till today. 1 year ago, our team of developers were busy right now, like we're busy putting in the finishing touches on the Sole app and conducting tests on the various features. As I recall, I put a team together of about 7 people, hired a villa at Pacific Harbor for 2 months, put them in there, locked the room, locked the villa, and provide them food daily. And 6 weeks later, the Sole app was born. Isn't that amazing? All totally developed with local developers qualified from the University of the South Pacific. With that going on, our team in the office were also busy preparing documentations, policies, and procedures to ensure that we fully comply with the Reserve Bank of Fiji requirements. Starting a company is not easy, and especially with the fintech where we are entrusted with the deposits of people, the Reserve Bank of Fiji comes up with all sorts of rules for us to comply with. And it should be that way. And we are happy that even took us 1 year for us to put up the documentation, for us to even enter into the sandbox, fintech sandbox regulatory requirements. I must share good news this morning, Mr. Minister and Talpalongasi and invited guests. As of today, 10 months after Sole was launched, we have now exceeded $1 million in value of transactions. Isn't that amazing? And not only that, we are now really approaching the 13,000 members mark. Our CEO reminded us this morning that she wants 100,000 by the end of this year. It's a prophetic word, and we will do all our best with God's help to arrive at the 100,000 members mark. Not to mention, we had people that were praying for us. Prayer is a major source of strength and vision and ideas for Sole. Sole Limited is a startup company with not much resources. And we know that going into the financial industry would not be an easy feat. We know that we have the skills and expertise to build technology systems, people who knows how to obtain regulatory approvals, people who can manage our finance, and at the same time, it was equally important that we have people who continually pray for our company and for the progress. And for that, we are eternally grateful. At the same time, you have people who supported us from day one, who saw the vision and the purpose of what we are doing. They understand the plight of our people, the financial burden they carry, and not being financially savvy. When we present to the people in the villages and rural areas about Sole, their eyes glow with excitement and they feel emotional because they know that this financial tool can help them out of their financial burden. Sole is more than a financial app. It's more than a business. It goes much deeper than that. We have seen people literally cry with tears in their eyes when they are presented with sole. It brings hope to our people here in the urban areas and also in the rural areas. And diasporas. I just returned from Sydney, Australia, and I made 2 presentations and 2 radio programs, and at the closing hymn of their presentations, people were in tears. There's something about sole that is different from any other platforms. I recall last year of a mature Fijian woman who was full of tears when her sole account was opened. This was only the first week of launch when my daughter came to me and said, Ta, see this message from this lady. She just said she was in tears after she opened an account. For the first time in her life, that she was able to open an account that she could call a bank account. Even though we are not a bank, there is a bank represented here this afternoon. We are not a bank, but underneath sole lies the 2 banks, BSP Bank and Bread Bank. What I must say is the traffic in our system is beginning to build up. Today, as we mark this historic event, I give praises to God and thanksgiving unto Him and to Him alone. Without Him, it is impossible. To where we are today, it is impossible. With the amount of money we had, with the limited resources and people we had, it is impossible to arrive at this. You know, one of my friends in Sydney, Australia, messaged me and told me that what we are doing is worth multi-million dollars just to reach out to people, and the traction that we are causing in our nation and our peoples, even abroad, it's worth a couple of $1 million. And that's what we don't have. But there are people in the private sector, people in the village, families who have put their monies together to support this vision. And for that, I'm also grateful. And some of them are present here this afternoon. And now I take great pleasure in introducing the Honorable Mr. Sakesindi Toka, well known to me, but he's now the Minister for Rural, Maritime Development and Disaster for the Republic of Fiji government. Honorable Minister may not be new to some of you who are present here. He's fairly well known. He's a former distinguished military officer. He joined the Republic of Fiji military forces and rose to rank of major. He left the military in 2002 and joined the Public Service Commission. He was then appointed as private secretary to the late Prime Minister, Laisenia Garce, until he was sidelined and something happened in 2006. Honorable Sakiasi is passionate about development for the people and for the country. His vision is to see proper infrastructure development that is provided not only in urban areas, but equally so in rural areas as well. He wants to see people's livelihood improve, and it is no wonder that he is a great supporter of sole. It just so happened that 2 days ago I received an email from your ministry, sir, inviting sole to be part of, there's a delegation going to, I believe, Koro or Ngau and Merai. It's amazing that when the president was unable to be present this afternoon, that the Honorable Minister Ditoka was able to come.